Bitcoin and Ether are like gold, says Kathy Wood, but Ray Dalio is skeptical.
If you wanna be crypto savvy, we can help you skip those valleys. Let's rally, yeah. If you wanna be crypto savvy.
Yes, you did hear that right. Kathy Wood is comparing Bitcoin and Ether to gold, with Ray Dalio a little skeptical. Welcome back to Be Crypto Savvy, everybody. Appreciate you joining us back on this blistering cold Monday, at least here where I am. We went from mid 70s for the past week to snowing outside. But enough about that. Let's get into the show, everybody. So typically what I would do on Monday is jump into the Genie.io range report, where we would look at the predictive forecast of the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum for the next 7 days. However, instead of doing that today, just because we're still in that same pullback that we were talking about, 2-3 days ago that we anticipated seeing, we're just kind of now seeing that pullback start to happen. So instead of wasting a video talking about the same thing, I figured we would switch it up and do a news video today, and then we'll see what Bitcoin and Ethereum are looking like tomorrow, and more than likely do those videos at that time. So let's get into the show. Bitcoin and Ether are like gold, says Kathy Wood, but Ray Dalio is skeptical. Recent turmoil in the banking sector has shown that Bitcoin and Ether can withstand a shaky economy, outperform their asset classes, and function like gold, says ARK Invest CEO Kathy Wood. Wood said in an April 15th interview that Bitcoin's resilience through the most recent banking crisis has been the most remarkable of all indicators her tech-focused investment management firm is monitoring. Bitcoin and Ethereum are now acting as risk-off assets, as a flight to safety for investors amid macroeconomic uncertainty. The last thing I'll touch on from Kathy Wood is what she quoted here. They're going to disrupt the traditional world order. What are Bitcoin and Ethereum doing? I mean, by the very fact that they're being considered a flight to safety like gold, that's really interesting and suggests much broader base adoption and acceptance than I think most people understand. And that's the part that I'd really like to drive home there, is that this suggests a much broader base adoption and acceptance than I think most people understand. And how about Ray Dalio, the founder of Bridgewater Associates? What's his opinion of Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin is neither an effective store of wealth or a medium of exchange, therefore not an effective currency. It has a volatility that has no relation to practicality, and it is also a very, very poor alternative to gold. So, two different points of view there. What's yours? Jump down in the comment section and let us know. Is Bitcoin and or Ethereum a good alternative to physical gold? What's your opinion? Let us know. Now, for this next piece of news, if this does happen to pan out and be true, this would be very, very bullish for the entire crypto community as a whole. The Bitcoin price ticker went live on China's Douyin app, a move which indicates that Beijing may once again be warming up to crypto. Now, if you know anything about China in the crypto space, you know that China continuously pulls in and out of allowing their citizens the ability to participate in the crypto space. And they currently do not allow their citizens to participate. So if they were to reverse course and allow that to happen again, there would be such a big inflow, I feel like, in money that just poured into the crypto space. That would be very, very big. And if you have been paying attention to what's been going on with the BRICS group, which we'll talk about briefly here in a moment, with like Russia and China, and we'll get into some of that here in a moment. But with those kinds of relationships, they've already been formed, but continuing and progressing those relationships, it's not hard to see China coming back into the crypto space. So definitely something to keep an eye on. Breaking, just in. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says economic sanctions on Russia and other countries put the U.S. dollar's dominance at risk. Yep. Way to catch up, Mustard. Treasury Secretary says sanctions could hurt the U.S. dollar amidst alternate currency plans, which we spoke briefly on earlier in the video. BRICS is comprised of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. So these aren't just, small, countries that don't have any power or support. And, these are big, powerful countries that have been aligned. This isn't something new. However, with them switching away from the US dollar, that is something that is new. So Yellen talks to U.S. dollar's fading dominance. The BRICS nations, composed of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, have undoubtedly grown in their importance globally. Moreover, they have been outspoken in their pursuit of creating an alternative currency to eliminate the dominance of American currency. There is a risk when we use financial sanctions that are linked to the role of the dollar that over time could undermine and hedge the dollar, Yellen stated in an interview. Conversely, she noted that the U.S. uses the dollar as a tool judiciously in the same interview. It is a very effective tool, of course. It does create a desire on the part of China, Russia, Iran to find an alternative, Yellen remarked. Still, the growing voice against the U.S. dollar's dominance is not limited to those three. Specifically, last week, we saw Brazil President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, sorry if I butchered that, call for countries to develop their own currencies for international trade, as a result, decreasing reliance on the U.S. dollar. So, we've had a good run, folks. We really have in America. However, this isn't something that is because of things that have happened recently. That doesn't help either, but this has been a snowballing effect and something that's been coming to the forefront since August 15th, 1971. And the last stop that we'll make today, Bitcoin and Ether see bull breather as higher bond yields support dollar. Major cryptocurrencies traded with moderate losses Monday while the US dollar index tracked treasury yields higher as the market grew more comfortable with the expectation that the Federal Reserve will continue its liquidity tightening cycle in May. Bitcoin fell 1.7%, which we are actually down 3% so far today. Bitcoin fell 1.7% in the last 24 hours to below $30,000, which we are currently sitting at right now, and Ethereum fell 1.8% to just over $2,000. Traders price in an 85% probability that the Fed will raise rates by a quarter of a percentage point to 5% to 5.25% next month, compared with the 66% probability seen following the release of inflation data on Wednesday. Now, if you caught our video last week, we talked about how we don't understand how people aren't given this a 100% probability. Jerome Powell came out in the meeting and verbally said, we will be raising rates by a quarter point next month. So why this started at 66% is beyond me, and why it's still only at 85% is beyond me. But if you watched our video from earlier last week, so what was that, like Monday or Tuesday of last week, we were talking about how the markets over the next week or two will start showing signs of a probable pullback. But basically what would end up happening is the market would position itself in such a manner of anticipating what the Federal Reserve is planning on doing at next month's meeting. And we've been talking about how we know that's a quarter point because Jerome Powell told us it was going to be a quarter point. So why all these traders are still only at 85% and even, not too long ago at 66%, in agreement that we're getting a quarter point? I don't know why the market's slow to respond. However, that is what is happening. There's been things that have baffled me a lot more than that. So I guess we'll just leave the video there and we'll call it a day, everybody. We'll call it a day. So if you got anything of value from this video, make sure you smash that like button. That's always appreciated. Jump down in the comment section. Let us know your points of view, any questions. Also, we're going to be doing some technical analysis videos on coins outside of just Bitcoin and Ethereum. So please jump down in the comments and let us know which coins you are interested in so we can throw those on the list of possibilities. And that's going to do it. We will catch you folks on the next video. See you then.